Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nick from MTG Unlimited, and today I'm going to be doing a mono green standard deck. You guys can see the deck list right now. It's basically just taking all the good cards that were in green pre-M15, and then taking the cards that were printed in M15 and adding it to the deck, and it really makes it flow a lot better and makes it way more powerful. So with that being said, let's start with our land base. We have 25 lands in total, which you may think is a little bit high, but if our mana ramping creatures they're pretty prone to spot removal, so if they get removed early in the game, then our deck really slows down and can kind of stall pretty easily, so you want to have quite a bit of lands to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we're playing 21 Forest, and then we're playing 4 Nykthos, and Nykthos just helps us to get a ridiculous amount of mana, especially when our mana rampers at the beginning, our early drops, haven't been removed. Our devotion racks up really quickly, so we get out a lot of mana with Nykthos. Moving into our creatures, we have 4 Elvish Mystic. This guy just helps us ramp into our creatures a little bit earlier. We can play a Courser turn 2 off of him. This helps with a lot of things. Next, we have 4 Voyaging Satyrs. As I mentioned earlier, this combos really well with Nykthos to get insane amounts of mana. So we can Genesis Hydra for 10, 14. It can get pretty insane with that combo. Next, we have 4 Burning Tree Emissaries. This card helps a lot since we have a lot of 2-drops in this deck. Being able to play them like 2/2 drops on one turn with Burning Tree. You can Burning Tree into another Burning Tree into something else, or you can Burning Tree into a Voyaging Satyr, Burning Tree into a Scavenging Ooze. I mean, the possibilities are really endless. Next, we have 4 Courser of Kruphix. This card is very, very good. As you've seen, this gets played in a lot of really good decks. It helps us get out lands a bit faster, meanwhile gaining us some life, so 2 upsides to that. And it has dropped in price recently, so it won't break your bank to play this card as a 4 of in the deck, so I'd really recommend it. Next, we have 2 Scavenging Ooze. Just exiles cards from our opponent's graveyard. He can get pretty big, and he also gains us a lot of life in the meantime, so that card's very good, and it's a 2-drop, which helps our mana curve. Next, we have Polakranos as a 4 of. This guy's really one of the big beefy creatures that can win us games, especially when we do have a lot of mana. Using his monstrous ability to remove a lot of creatures that the opponent has, meanwhile putting a bunch of counters on him and making him really big is really helpful. Next, we have 2 Genesis Hydra. Well, this card was printed in M15. It helps us to search the top of our library and put out a card. Usually, you're going to want to cap or have at least 5 mana on the X, so you can put 5 counters on him to make it so he's helps your board presence a bit, and mainly just to search for Nissa. That's what I usually search for with this card. So with our Nykthos and a bunch of our mana ramping creatures, you can usually get more than 5 pretty comfortably, but at least 5 is what I would make the X on the Genesis Hydra. Next, we're playing 1 Hornet Queen. This is used for Court of Calling. We want to search up our Hornet Queen. It really helps with a bunch of... This deck is really weak with flyers, so Hornet Queen helps to sit there and block, or if they have no flyers, it can also attack. So it really does it all, and it really just stops them from attacking and winning the game just because they have flyers and we don't. Next, we have 1 Nylea. This creature god just gives all of our creatures trample, so that's really helpful, especially when our Polakranos gets to be ridiculous. So when we put a lot of counters on him, just making sure he has trample so he can't be chump blocked, it's pretty useful. Next, we have the 4 Court of Callings. Like I said, we're probably going to want to search up the Hornet Queen with the Court of Calling, and it is at instant speed, so that's really helpful too. Court of Calling is just really ridiculous, and the possibilities are really endless. It doesn't have to be a Hornet Queen if you already have Hornet Queen in your hand or have drawn Hornet Queen. You can search up a Polakranos or really anything you want, so that card's pretty open to what you want to do depending on the circumstances. And next, we're getting to our Planeswalkers. We have 2 Garrett Caller Beast. He gets really ridiculous. All of his abilities are insane, especially in a creature-heavy deck like this one, so he's a perfect fit for the deck. And lastly, we have 3 Nissa Worldwaker, the card that really made this deck be possible. She's just ridiculous, being able to get out that much mana, and it really allows us to Court of Calling for a lot and Genesis Hydra for a lot, so she really makes the deck possible. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out the rest of our channel. We do weekly giveaways, deck techs, everything. So thanks, guys.